morning, guys. Welcome back to Poorboys Little Homestead. As always, if this is your first time here, thanks for dropping in. Feel free to drop in anytime you feel, my friend. Guys, this morning I'm out here in the greenhouse, and it is 32 degrees. But it's time to get ready to start planting some seeds in these seedling trays out here. But what I'm doing, I'm getting prepared. I start setting up my seed starting soil. Now, I'm not one that goes buys seed starting mix to start my seeds. And probably if you got the money to do that and want to do it, that's probably the best thing to do. I don't know. I've always had good luck with just doing my own. Now, what I got here, I got a pile of my compost. This pile here has been going on over a year. It's gin trash, some cow manure, rabbit manure, quail poop, soil from just out of the ground around here, leaves. It's been composting out there. Well, I moved my compost pile to a different spot, so it's got a lot of leaves and bigger chunks in it. But I just go get me a wheelbarrow and bring in here. And I got a little screen here. This screen there, that's about a 1/4 by 1/4 inch squares. Now, they ain't really a quarter. They probably about 3/16 squares. That's nothing more than a dipper out of an old fried eddy. And I just run my dirt through that screen so it gets all the bigger stuff out. You want to try to keep your soil fine as you can. Now, as I'm doing that in this little, now all I got here, that's just a container, y'all. Actually, that's just a styrofoam ice chest. You can use anything you got. That's just what I had laying around. As I'm screening my soil out, getting all the bigger stuff out of it, this is micolite. I asked for micolite in there. This is just perlite. I just add perlite, and I do it as I fill this up. That way it won't be as hard for me to get it mixed up. And that's all I've done in the last couple years. I'm going to show you. That right there looks like some good seed starting mix. Some guys is going to say, yeah, but that ain't sterilized. Well, like I said, I ain't going to argue with you and say that sterilized ain't better. But I can promise you it's been a lots and lots of stuff grown that they didn't buy no sterilized seed starting mix to start their seeds over the years. Like I said, I ain't saying anything's wrong with it. They ain't gonna say it might not be better. But I just ain't spending the money on it. And one thing I am doing different this year that I haven't been doing, I bought a block of this coconut core. Now I know the direction says put this in a big tub of water and let it expand and all that, but I ain't wanting to use it all at one time. So all I'm doing is taking my knife and breaking off me some chunks of it. And then I'm just taking my hands and I'm grinding it up in this, my seed starting mix here. But when I put this in my trays, I'm gonna wet it down real good. So then that's what I'm putting in here is gonna get wet. And like I said, now if I was gonna be doing a whole lot and starting all at one time, I might wet that down. But I'm just doing it this way, and I think it's gonna work out pretty well. We'll know here in the future, won't we? That's how I make my seed starting mix, guys. Like I said, now, if I did want to so-called sterilize it, what I would do is get my fish burner out and get me a bunch of water boiling. And I would pour this dirt, put it in me a big metal pot or something, and run some boiling water through it. But guys, I ain't had no trouble. Now, like I said, I know sterilized soil keeps your diseases down and stuff. Like I said, I'm not arguing that it ain't better. I'm just saying you ain't got to do that. And for years and years and years, at least in this part of the world, people ain't bought all that to pot their seedlings up. Because all this gardening, I'm going to tell you, it can get expensive. You can make it as expensive as you want to make it. So yeah, if I had plenty of money, I'd have me a nicer greenhouse than this little cow panel when I made. I'd buy seed starting mix. I'd have grow lights hanging everywhere in the big greenhouse. Actually, I'd have me an outside heated room just to start stuff in so I wouldn't have to do it in the house. So a man can spend what he wants to spend, can't he? This is just how I do it. Like I said, now this year I got a lot of leaves in here because when I moved my pile here a while back with the tractor, it was after the fall leaves that fell. I kind of rearranged things out here behind the garden, and I got a lot of leaves, with just a lot of big stuff in here that don't need to be in your seed starting. But I'm going to get this tub here full, guys, and then we're going to plant us up some marigolds this morning. Now guys, you can take a bundle of this cocoa core here and you can start your seeds straight in it. But the only thing is, when you start seeds straight in it, you ain't gonna be able to let your seeds grow very long at all, and you're gonna have to pot them up or steady give them a fertilize, liquid fertilize stuff for your seedlings. Which I do anyway, but I ain't gonna have to do it as much as you would if you're using just strictly this cocoa core to start your seeds. Cause see, this cocoa core ain't got nothing in it that's gonna help your seedlings just keep growing without giving them some food. And fertilize is food to seedlings and plants. For my compost out here that I have that I'm screening out, it's got a lot of nutrients and NPKs and all your good stuff that the plants need. And I know last year when I started my stuff in there, I mean, them tomatoes and stuff come out of this soil just a jumping. And I hope they do the same thing this year. But I am adding the cocoa core because that helps keep the soil, holds a little more moisture and keeps the soil from packing together in case I got some that ain't fine enough in here. You want your soil real fine. You can't just go get no dirt out of the garden to start seeds in. Or I guess you can, but it ain't gonna, your outcome ain't gonna be as well because your soil is too compacted, clay. Seed starting, you want some thin, lightweight soil. And I'm gonna tell you right now, guys, you might buy some stuff that looks that good, and it may have been sterilized, and that's one thing you really don't know or not. Just because they said it's been sterilized, you don't know that it has. But guys, that's some good looking soil. Seed starting mix right there. Look at that. That's about a good looking seed starting mix you want to make. And speaking of that sterilizing, see, I have problems with that Sterilize, and I may be looking at this wrong. But they claim that that stuff is sterilized. But then they get these shipments in and it's set outside. Just say you go to Walmart or Home Depot or any of them big places like that, and it's just stacked outside, been raining on it and everything else. Now, yeah, I know it's in a plastic bag, but that plastic bag builds up moisture just like this, gets sopping wet. And you can pick up some of them bags, and some of them's gonna be heavy, some of them ain't, and that's because some of them soaked up more water and some ain't. Well, to me, there goes their sterilization. It may be sterilized, but it's done got wet, it's done got damp. So to me, it ain't sterilized no more. Not to what I would call something sterilized. It's sterilized when they put it in the bag. It ain't sterilized when you get it, and that's just how I look at it. And like I said, I have my own ways of looking at things. But I will say it's probably still better for a sterilized part than what I'm making here. Maybe. I don't know that. And it's less work. All you gotta do is go buy you a bag. Like I said, if you're gonna do just a little bit of seeding, but I do this because once I start my seeds, I do this same way right here when I step them up to a bigger pot. Now when I step them up to a bigger pot, I may get a little bigger stuff in here a little bit, but I still try to use this same little process that I'm doing. Perlite and vermiculite, that helps hold moisture. Perlite also helps keep your soil from getting compacted. And if I didn't have this cocoa coir and that perlite and that vermiculite, I would start my seeds just straight into this composted soil, run through this screen. And I'm gonna have some that's gonna be done like that because I ain't got much perlite left and I don't plan on buying no more. Alright, so let's get us a tray out. Fill us up a tray that we're gonna plant our marigolds in. This is the cocoa coir I was telling y'all. Alright guys, so up next, I'm just using these little wax paper bathroom cups, I call them. You can get them pretty daggum cheap. Now I save my trays for my tomatoes and vegetables, but stuff like these marigolds and zinnias and stuff like that, I just use whatever, and these are good enough because I won't never pot these up no bigger. But I just go through and first fill my cups up with the soil. Sound like something's got the chicken stirred up this morning. And next, guys, I just take me a little stick, make me a little hole right in the center. I don't make the hole very deep because I'm going to come back and put some of this soil right over the top of them seeds when I get them in there. Guys, this morning we're going to be planting some marigolds called Jagger from Burpee. Some of these are getting more than one seed. They all probably gonna get more than one seed because I'm gonna use this whole little pack up. Most times pack don't have that many seeds, but this one here look like it's probably got about 75 seeds in it. So some of them are gonna have 3 or 4 or 5 seeds. It's just, I can always spin them. When they start coming up, because I ain't saving none of that rest of this pack of seeds. There we go. And I'm going to take my little stick. Since I got more than one seed, I wasn't expecting that many seeds in the pack, so I'm just going to rake them around. Try to get one down in that hole, and then others I just rake around and get covered up a little bit. Yeah, that looks good enough. Now guys, I was saying a while ago, now if your soil ain't damp, like my soil here is damp, it ain't wet, but it's got good moisture to it. If you fooling with dry soil, once you put it in your cups, you either want to wet your soil before you put it in your trays, or put it in your cups and then water it a couple times and let it soak in before you put your seeds in. So my soil here's got a good moisture content that I'm comfortable with. So all I'm going to do is just put some right over the top of this. Alright. Now guys, right here I got a good tip for y'all I just thought about. Y'all see that soil falling on the ground? Well, as I seed things up, soil's falling on the ground. But don't sweep that soil up and go put it in your compost pile. Because as you dropping soil, and we doing a lot of seeding, I'm dropping a lot of seeds. So you'll have all kind of stuff growing in your compost pile. So after I get ready to clean up in here, after I'm done seeding, I'll take this and I'll put it off out there somewhere out of the way. And something may come up and something may not. But you don't want to be sweeping up all these seeds that you've accidentally dropped on your floor in your greenhouse and stuff, and go put it in your garden. Don't say, well, I'm going to throw this soil back in my garden. I ain't going to waste it. Well, you may do that, but you may have a bunch of stuff coming up that you don't know what you done dropped on the ground. So I don't never sweep this seed back up, this dirt soil seeds back up and put it in my garden. I throw it out somewhere out of the way. And next, I'm going to slide this down because I don't want water going in my wheelbarrow. I just got a half-gallon milk jug, drilled a whole bunch of holes in there. And that's where I'll put my water, and this is how I water them in. I don't do enough seedlings, especially all at one time, for me to drag the water hose in here, and it just makes too much of a mess. So I just keep my little jug filled, and I got a gallon jug here that I can keep water in. But that right there is watered that in enough. That's good to go. And guys, that's all I'm gonna be potting up today. I just main thing of this little short video is to show you how I made my starting soil. Like I said, I'm not knocking going and buying seed starting soil. If you could afford it, that's the thing to do. Like I said, they claim it's sterilized if you buy some good seed starting soil, and if it's sterilized, that's a good thing. I just have my opinions about that, how sterilized it is once you finally get it. But anyway, this is my way of making my seed starting soil, and it's worked out so far so good. Like I said, the only thing I'm doing different this year, I am grinding some of that coconut core up in there with it. I bought that coconut core, said I was just going to start some seeds in it, and that would be fine if you started your seeds and you knew by the time they come up, your weather was going to be where you could plant them out in the ground and then start feeding them. But I'm afraid my weather ain't going to be just right, so they may have to grow longer than they really need to in these little cups. So I like having me some soil that's got some good nutrients in it. Like I said, that composted down with them veneers, it's got a lot of the food is in it that it can grow a while in them cups. But I hope this helps someone out, maybe let you have some ideas that you can do things on a little more budget friendly gardening than some of the stuff they sell. Because like I said, this gardening can get very expensive. But I hope that helps someone out again. Hope y'all have a great day. God bless. See y'all next time.